morning once again, fellow revolutionists. Again, I'm Charles Robertson from Coach Earny's Money Revolution, where we revolutionize people's capacity to create, grow, and keep wealth. You are in the first video of a series of 3 videos which we released from the Coach Earny Money Revolution on how to make the journey with Coach Earny from an employee to a business owner. So in this first video, we're going to talk about what is the difference between an employee and a business owner. And in talking about this, it takes me back to my first job when I was only 15 years old and my first business when I was 16 years old. So my first job was a newspaper delivery boy. I delivered newspapers in the morning. I always wanted to make an extra buck. And I decided the easiest way to do that is to deliver newspapers in the morning. So I got up every morning at 4:30 and delivered newspapers, and it went well. I saved up some money. But then something happened when I turned 16. My dad invested in vending machines. It was a real simple vending machine. I think you still get them. It's like a machine full of round bubble gums. They looked like tennis balls, and you had to drop a 20 cents in it. Those days, a 20 cents was a fairly big coin like that, and you turn the knob and the bubble gum would come out at the bottom. So I thought, wow, this is my opportunity. And I went to him and I said, well, give me distribution rights for my area. I already had a Vespa scooter, which I bought for 150 Rand from my uncle out of my newspaper money. So I was mobile. So my dad agreed, and I went to all the different store owners in our area to negotiate the rights to place the vending machines in their stores. And I can remember how stressful that was, getting on my scooter and driving and facing these grown-up people and asking them if I could put my vending machine in their store. So the margins was fairly tight, so there was no real margin to pay them a decent rent to place the machines there. So the sales pitch was that 10% of the proceeds of the vending machine would go to a charity that supported the cerebral palsy. So it went well, it went great. The store owners agreed, it didn't cost them anything. And it was really great. Once the machines were placed and stocked, all I really needed to do was once a week get on my Vespa, drive around in my area, restock the machines, and collect my money. I can't remember exactly how much money I made in the vending machines, but it was roughly the same amount as I made from delivering newspapers. So I kept my day job. I continued to deliver newspapers. So what's the difference between the two? Delivering newspapers on this side, or having vending machines and collecting money for bubble gums on this side? The money was the same. So what's the difference? Time. See, delivering newspapers in the morning took me about an hour and a half every morning. It was 6 days a week. The paper was distributed 6 days a week. So that's about 9 hours a week. On this side, once the machines were placed, all I really needed to do was once a week, one afternoon in the week, again, not 4:30 in the morning, one afternoon in the week, I had to go and restock the machines and collect my money. That journey roughly took about 3 hours. So although the money was the same, this job took me 3 hours a week, this job took me 9 hours a week, and at really early hours of the day. And that's the difference. So the person that explains this the best to me is a man called Robert Kiyosaki, and he developed something which he called the cash flow quadrant, which really divides people into 4 categories based on where they earn their money from. So I want to show you how I understand the cash flow quadrant, and I want to place my 2 jobs as a schoolboy in the cash flow quadrant, and then let's see if we understand a little better after that on what is the difference between an employee and an employer. Follow me. So Robert Kiyosaki developed this cash flow quadrant that explains, in my mind, the best way the difference between employees and business owners. So in the cash flow quadrant, there are 4 quadrants. First quadrant is an employee, second one self-employed, third one business owners, and then finally the 4th one investors. So if you think about an employee, all of us sell something. So an employee sells his time. You have to be at work to be able to earn your salary, and also a skill set. You need a certain skill set to be able to do your job. And I've said it already, what you earn for that is a salary. A self-employed person, you've got to think about a small business where the business owner has to be in the company, in the business, for the business to work. So think about a doctor here. You're also selling time and also a skill set. Sometimes it's a specialized skill set, like for an example, a doctor or a lawyer. But it's important to see that the doctor also has to be there. I mean, you're not going to pay the doctor if the only person that you can see at his practice is the receptionist. And what do you earn in this quadrant is a fee. In this quadrant, this is the business quadrant, business owner. So what do you sell as a business owner? Anything really. So let's call it goods and services. What do you earn for selling that? So the company makes a profit. And then finally, this quadrant is called the investor quadrant. An investor sells money and he earns a return on investment or interest. So if you think about the example that I used in my story as a newspaper delivery boy, in which quadrant was I? I think I will place myself in this quadrant because I earned a few cents, a commission per newspaper that I delivered, and I could increase or reduce that depending on how many newspapers I would deliver. But the important thing to note is that I was on this side of the cash flow quadrant. I had to be there. I had to be the one to deliver the newspaper. So whether I fall in this one or this one doesn't really matter. The important thing to note here is that my own personal investment in my time was required. So when I started my business as a vending machine owner, I started to play in this quadrant as a business owner. And in this is the secret of the difference between an employee and a business owner. That is, in this commodity, which is extremely limited, called time. How many hours do we have in a day? It's 24 hours. Each one of us. Doesn't matter how rich or how poor you are. All of us only have 24 hours. You have to sleep 8 hours of that. You have to prepare to go to work. You have to drive to and back from work. We all only have 24 hours. Nobody can add to that. It is what we all get. And that's extremely limited. On this side, we don't see time. We're not selling time. So many people say, yes, Charles, we're not selling time, but money also has to be in an investment for some time before you can make a return. And it is true. But whose time? And in that lies the secret. It's the money's time. The money spends the time in the investment, not you. So an investor, somebody that invests his money for a living, he can be on a yacht, sailing the oceans of the world. He can be on a 6-month vacation. It doesn't matter. He does not have to be in the investment. It's the money's time. Money is working for him. He's not working for money. Money is working for him. And also in a business. So think about my business as an owner of vending machines. Was I standing in the shop front with a bag full of bubble gums, and every time a child comes in, I collect 20 cents, give him a bubble gum. 20 cents, thank you sir, bubble gum. 20 cents, thank you sir, bubble gum. 20 cents, thank you sir, bubble gum. No, the vending machine was burning the hours for me. And also I had multiple vending machines. I can't cut myself in two. So even if I were prepared to stand in a shop front collecting 20 cents and paying out a bubble gum, I could only do that in one place. And that's really the difference. You have to be in it on this side of the cash flow quadrant, but on this side you don't have to be in it. You have systems, you have other people, you have computers, whatever your business model is. You have something else that burns your hours for you and that makes money for you. And in that is the difference for me between an employee or a self-employed person versus a business owner. And that is what we're going to talk about in this series of 3 videos, is how to make this journey with my business coach, Coach Earny, from an employee to a business owner. And actually, you don't really need to choose between the two. You can be in both quadrants at the same time. So I was still delivering my newspapers and still playing on this side of the cash flow quadrant, but I started to put my toe in the water in this business quadrant, and where I learned valuable skills about becoming a business owner, which is how I built my career. So that really concludes this first video in the series of 3 videos. In the next video, we're going to learn about what are the skill sets needed to operate on this side of the cash flow quadrant. And it's really 2 skills. It's a financial IQ. Robert Kiyosaki talks about a financial IQ, which sits up here. But it's also an emotional IQ, which sits in the spirit. And I'm very excited to share that with you. Get on the journey with Coach Earny. You can do it. See you guys in the next video.